Hi friends, welcome to Tutors Funny channel. Today I am going to teach how to implement the Spring security using Spring Boot 3. Okay, so first I am going to go to the Spring Initializer. Click on this link. It goes to the respective website for the configuration the Spring Boot application. Select Maven Java. You have to select this one 3.3.0. You have to implement the group security. You have to try this one first. As the dependencies web jpa, we have to write mysql, and the final one you have to implement the security, right? Spring security. Okay, so these are the dependencies I'm going to implement the Spring Boot application. So here, this as usual we are implement this all these three dependencies. This is the in order to implement the Spring security we have to implement this Spring security, this one. Okay, now let's click generate. Now your project get here, the project, this is your project. I just cut off this. I'm putting to my F drive, right click and extract file, click OK. Now it's extracted successfully. You will be able to see the extracted successfully. I'm going to open up on my VS Code IntelliJ IDEA. If you are not installed IntelliJ IDEA, you have to install IntelliJ IDEA. This is the best editor to write the Java codes. Now we have to go to the file, open, go to which drive I have put it, F drive. Go to the drive which you have put it using the F drive first. This one. Click on this. Click OK. Now you have to. I have opened my project in my IntelliJ IDEA. You have to wait until the dependency is installed. Here the dependency is installing. You have to wait. Don't close it. Okay. So you have to install it. So after install the dependencies, it will be installed into the pom.xml file. Like this is not problem. So here it is installed into your pom.xml. The installation has been done successfully. Now here all things are done, right? So now what I'm going to do is go to the main Java. This is your package you have created. Com security first, right? After the resources folder, we have an application property, right? So here what I did here is I'm going to implement this. If you don't know this all the code I give you, okay, this one we are not going to write it. This is just copy and paste. I'll give you this code. First I'm going to, this is a project, I am implement the Spring security. Here you have to go to the application property first time. Here we have to do all the resources folder, application here do all the database configuration part. Port you can give any port. I here gave as 8089. Here the database I just give as update. Okay, the MySQL driver. We already done MySQL driver. You have to this a MySQL driver while we are configuring the databases, right? So I am creating the database. Just create the name which is a I'm going to BVN. It's a database I'm going to create it, right? This is the user credential of my MySQL workbench. While the MySQL workbench I have installed, this is the username and password. This is a port which will be running. That's the configuration we have did it, right? So this is the important stuff, which is when this Hibernate. This is the Spring Boot 3. We have to put it this one MySQL 8 delight. This is must. This configuration is true, right? This is a configuration part. Now here what I'm going to do, this is your package. Select this package, right click new package. You have to name it as a controller. Your controller. This controller I'm going to create this controller. Some controllers are create as a one controller is a customer controller. It's a customer controller. You have to create a customer controller. Okay. Second controller I'm going to create as a task controller. Another controller I'm going to create as a employee controller. To implement the controllers. Now customer controller, what you are going to do is here we have a REST controller. You have to implement the REST controller. Second one I am going to implement the cross origin. Third one I am going to implement the request mapping. You have to implement this one. The path you have given here API slash version the v1, it is nothing but a version slash you have to give the API request as an endpoint which is custom. Okay, when the customer request is coming. Now here we have to create the method. Okay, so you have to create the method. So I've just simple method I am explaining. Right. This is not error. If you are writing this is not error, this is just this. Okay. So we have created the function public string, this string function which will be returned. So this customer details when the get customer, I have created the function which is a get customer details, not type customer details. Okay, when the request is coming, it will be returned to the when the endpoint is slash customer detail, it's coming this detail, this customer detail is returned. Okay, this is how we have make the security. So the same thing, I just copy this, paste it over here as well. The employee details. Here you have writer. Copy this, paste it over here. Employee. Let's copy this, paste it over here. Tasks. So write it here this one. Copy this and paste it here. This one should be the task details. Get task details. Task. The task details. Right. Once the request is coming slash task, it will be calling this method to return this text. Right. So now you can see if you are write this one, it won't. We have to implement the security. Okay. Now in order to do the program, you have to implement the security. So security implementation, I'm going to select this one. Okay, so this is the endpoints. These three controller I have created. When the request is coming from the endpoint from the front end, in order to work with this endpoint, we need a security. Okay, the security is implemented. So how to implement the security? Select this one, the package which is a config. This config package, I'm going to implement the security, which is a first security. I'm going to implement the project security. We have to write the select this one, new Java class. You have to implement the project security config. This is a class I'm going to write it. Project configure security. Right? So this is a class I'm going to write it. Now what I'm going to do is here, I'm going to add the you have to implement the security. First you have to in the annotations. We have to implement the annotations. Okay. So first implementation we have to write a configuration. Configuration. Second one I am implemented as a enable web security. This is a bean class. You have to use it the security chain. Every class you have to use this is a bean class. You have to set a bean class. You have the security filter chain. You have default security filter chain you have to write HTTP security HTTP. You have to write implement this throw. You have to write the exceptions. Open and close bracket. Here you have to write the HTTP security. This one you have to get this one. Okay. So you have to write here in springboot 3. You have to write a authorized HTTP request. Okay, you have to implement this one. You have to write authorized request. Okay, you have to authorized request. Okay, authorized request. You have to write this one as a authorized request. Okay, authorized request. Okay, right. So what I'm going to is here dot you have to write request matches. You have the endpoint. You have to set the endpoint. Endpoint. You have to write this endpoint. You have to set it the API. This name endpoint. You have to set the API. You have to set the API endpoint. Okay, then we have to write the slash API. Okay, customers slash employee dot authenticated. Request matches dot tasks dot permit all. Okay, now what I'm going to do is here I'm going to dot you have to write form login dot and you have to write dot http basics. You have to implement the http basic. Okay, so you implement this all the things. After that you have to write return dot write http dot build. Build. That's it. That's the thing you have to implement. Sorry, this one http security dot build. So we have security we have give the name. That's the thing. Okay, we have the authenticated part. This is the permit all means all the one can access this one permit all. Here you can see the authenticated. If you put the authenticated here, request matching, only this user can. When you authenticated, we need a user and password. Then only this uh, endpoint will be accessed, right? So that's the security implemented. Okay, now let's check whether it's working fine or not. Let's run and check it whether any problem or not. Sorry, we already have one. The port is running, so that we have to change the port. My previous program. So we write 9090. It's working without any problem. So you can see it is implement the password as well. So now you can see the postman. I'm going to go to this is a get mapping. You can check it here. First you have to observe this is very careful when you implement the Spring security. First you have to get here out is a HTTP localhost 80 8090 port, which is after that you have to implement the security, which is this one API. This one API is customer. So to security you have to implement here slash. Okay, now here get method. So this is what's endpoint. This is endpoint, custom endpoint. You just copy this custom endpoint, you paste it over here. Right, now let's click on this. You can see there is no result. So there is no result. So what I'm going to do is you have to go to authenticate, because this you have make the security. We have to make the security. Okay, so here we have again we have to generate this one. You can see the security key. You have to apply the security key in order to access that endpoints. Here this is a security key. Using the generate security key, this is security key. So here user. So how to access this one? Here you have to do the things that here you have to implement the project configuration. Here you have to apply this one. Okay, when the endpoint is coming. So what I did here is we have to go to the authentication part, authorization. Here you have to select the authorization, basic auth. Basic auth. You have to select the username as user, password as what the password generated currently. Now this is the password I will generate. Just copy this password and paste on this. Now again you have to click send. Here the customer detail will be displayed. Working successful. Okay, so the employee details also you will be able to see. You want to see the employee details. We have the same API. Employee, copy this. Endpoint is employee is working. Now it's working perfectly well. This is how we have implemented the Spring security in Spring Boot 3. I hope you guys you understood things well. I'll see in my next video tutorial to implement the Spring Boot security. This is all the source code I provide you. Thank you for watching.